Great. Yeah, welcome again. My name is Stefan van Hooft. I'm Dutch from origin. By origin, I live in the UK, Southwest. A bit more about that in a minute. And I've chosen to do something about Drupal and the Internet of Things. Is anybody familiar with that? Great stuff. Fantastic. Okay. This is not the plan, but the idea is that this is going to be not just a presentation. What I would like to do is present a little bit and then collaborate, work with you or work with a whole group to see if we can come up with ideas, solutions, and hopefully it will flow nicely after that. If what I've done, I've created a Lillipad. I don't know if everybody's heard of that, but it's an online collaborative notepad, and that allows you to simultaneously add text or anything you like to it. And the idea behind that is, can everybody read it? Yeah? Okay. Is to, you can share your thoughts. And I believe that, Lillipad was Etherpad, and then it got bought over by Google, and now it's Google Docs. Okay? This link will come back in a minute, but if you want to connect to it, it should work on any mobile device. And if you can't access it, just shout or write it down. Okay. Gonna advance the slide? Yeah? We'll come back in a minute. Okay. Yes, I'm a speaker, but the idea, I don't have a stick, hang on. I'm a speaker, but the idea behind this presentation, or this session, is that you're all speakers. That's the plan. So what I'll do a bit of talking, and before I do that, and then we can go on to the kind of a workshop, and then we can go. Okay, this is not my pet. I run a small company in the southwest of UK called iCompute, and in Somerset you walk into all sorts of animals, and this is one of them, but it's great to live. Okay, here's a little pad again. Morning. Morning. Okay, so that was a short introduction of myself. And since we have a nice group in the room, I don't know if anybody wants to share what you do. I've used the tracks for this camp, and if anybody wants to say who you are and what you do. Do we have site builders in the house? Yeah? Just speak up, it's fine.
I just want to say that we have only been working Drupal for about a week.
About a week, great, fantastic.
So, I'm mostly here to try to get an idea of how everything works.
Okay.
I'm going to have much.
That's great, fantastic, thank you. Okay, is everybody from Belgium, by the way? Excellent, all hands up, fantastic. I'm the only Dutch guy, Dutch-English guy then? Great. Okay, the Lillipad link again. Who wants to just say who he is, or who she is, and we'll start off. Here we go.
Sure, alright, well I'm on the business side.
Yeah, okay.
Run, by the way, everyone.
Okay.
I'm relatively new to the whole Drupal world and
Okay.
IT consulting in general, but I used to work in publishing. So I represent an IT consulting firm called Flytech Plus. I'm actually setting up their Belgian division, and they have emailed a couple of you guys already actually beforehand just to kind of get to know you. But so yeah, for me it's I'm here because I'm just trying to get to know Drupal a little bit better and the Belgian Drupal community in general and IT community in general.
Okay, fantastic. Great. Yeah, thank you very much. Go on, guys. Who's next? Where are you from?
I'm from Brussels.
Brussels, yeah.
I'm a website builder and a graphic designer who made the book that you have around your neck and stuff.
Great, good work.
Mainly as a freelancer.
Okay. Did you do the logo design as well?
No, he did that.
Great work. Fantastic.
Thanks.
Really, really good. It's been noticed in the Drupal community, I believe,
Yeah.
because of people talking about the logo redesign and things like that, and this came out. Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else want to share anything? Can I ask you? Sorry.
I'm from Limburg.
Limburg, yeah?
And I'm a teacher in Drupal in the adult education.
Ah, okay. Great.
Me as well.
Fantastic. Sorry?
Me as well.
Okay.
Teaching in adult education.
Right. I've just finished working in education in the UK in primary and secondary education for 5 years, not as a teacher, but in IT. So yeah, I know a little bit about, I'm not saying, I don't claim to be able to know everything, but I know a little bit how the education system works, at least in the UK. Always busy. Okay. So, there are a lot more clever people in this room. Can I ask you, please?
Yeah, I'm David Education. I'm from London. I'm the UK here as well.
Excellent.
I'm speaking this afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm from Commerce Guys about Drupal Commerce.
Ah, okay.
So doing a session on subscriptions.
Great work. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, go on.
So I'm from Tech. We do multilingual enablement of Drupal content.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. Thank you for coming. All right. Who's next? Yeah.
I'm a site builder of high school in Limburg, and in my free time I use Drupal to control my lighting in my home. And
Great. Oh, do you want to sit in the front here? We need you. I wish everybody would sit in the front, and it's not. It's not that scattered. But yeah, that's great. We can obviously. What I'm hoping that this to be is like an open space. So talk when you want to talk, and move when you ever want to move. Is that all right? Okay. So with the iPad, you want to say who you are, please?
I'm also a teacher.
Okay.
And I teach in Antwerp, and I'm also a researcher. But in my work, Drupal is not that important, so maybe it can become more important.
Yeah, okay, great, fantastic. Anybody else want to say, this is me? Yeah?
I'm Gunther and I'm living in Heiligenstad, it's Limburg.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a front-end developer and graphic designer. So
Right.
I make logo and website design and theming.
People were talking about you last night in the pub.
Yeah? Is it?
How good work that you've done, what good work you've done. Great, that's great. Okay, so.
So I'm in charge actually of the Romanian branch of Complexor.
Okay, yeah.
We just set this up this year. So I'm also kind of new to Drupal. I manage a team of Drupal developers somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And funny enough, how this small room is. Oh, we have a big learner. So I'm interested also in the Internet of Things. So I really want to see the link with Drupal.
Yeah, okay. I can't promise any solutions, but that's why we're here. And hopefully that will become clear later. Okay. Who are you?
Yeah. I'm Janet.
Janet,
I'm
hi,
a
Janet.
site builder
Okay.
from Drupal. I'm just the one like 1 year ago.
Mhm.
So I want to have running my own business
Okay,
with
yeah.
a website with Drupal. So I want to see how further can I go.
Okay, great, fantastic. Fantastic.
Yes, I'm from Amsterdam. My name is Brian.
Ah,
And
so I'm not the only Dutch person.
yes, you are not. Actually, there are a few Limburgers also.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started my career as a programmer, and now I'm actually a project manager, and I started just recently studying MBA.
Okay,
So business and strategy is actually my main focus now, and yeah, the Internet of Things is very interesting. So that's fine.
Great, fantastic, thank you. Yeah, go on.
I'm Peter.
Hi, Peter.
I live in Leuven. I work for an IT company called Atos.
Atos?
Yes.
Atos, or is it? It used to be Atos Origin.
It used to be Atos Origin.
Yeah, I used to work for them ages ago in Holland. Yeah.
So,
Morning.
I work in the Belgian division, and I'm heading the information management and analytics department. And within the company, we have a worldwide scientific community.
The scientific community, you say?
Things about things, and it writes all kinds of interesting trend papers and stuff like that. And they consider, and the others, the Internet of Things as the next, the great big leap forward.
Yes, yeah.
For IT companies. So that's one interesting what you're going to explore.
Yeah.
And also we do a bit of Drupal, because we work a lot for the public sector, in Belgian public sector, and the European public sector.
Okay, great, fantastic.
My name is Stefan. I'm living and working in Ghent. I'm
Okay.
just working at the university as a researcher. Sometimes we need Drupal just to quickly set up a website for projects. Lots of partners who can all interact, and that's why we need sometimes Drupal. And then we set it quickly.
Okay.
And that's why I'm here to learn more about where we can figure out how to use Drupal better.
Great. We're just doing the introduction round here, so since you're last in.
I'm Jan Groep, I'm from the Boerenbond, and we are heading up to Drupal. I did experience our website from the swimming club is I think 5 or 6 years old in Drupal. But we didn't do much with it, but that's my experience with it.
Yeah, okay. I have this link up. This is a link to a Lullapad, which means if you don't have a laptop or anything with you, that's fine. If you want to write down a couple of things, that's fine as well. If you, has anybody accessed the page? Anybody seen it? You don't have to, but if you do, feel free to.
I have, but it looks a little empty at the moment. So it's supposed to look like it.
I've never looked at it on such a small screen. Oh, it's loading. Are you connected to the Wi-Fi? X, when, X, N, Y, A.
It's the building box. It seems it's the building.
Yeah, it's triple.
But maybe it's the phone.
Oh, hey, it's working. It's working. I mean, I can see the people. Aaron, Peter, I'll read it.
Alright.
Yeah, the idea behind that is if I just open it up, what should happen is okay, giraffe. Oh, that's you. Yeah, of course. Great. Yeah, the idea of this Etherpad is that we use that as a collaborative notepad throughout the session. If you want to add anything, that's great. If you want to write down your expectations, say before we really start, go ahead. And hopefully at the end of it, we'll get some nice, we can use this maybe for future reference or to come up as a piece of feedback. People are typing. Pinya? Great, thank you. Fantastic. So I'll just keep this open and then switch back to the presentation. Okay. Okay, so is everybody okay? Does anybody want to say anything? Maybe you at the back? Hello? No? You want to say who you are, please? Yeah?
My name is Wim. I'm from Ghent.
Mm-hmm.
I work for a non-profit called We build websites
Okay, so you do mainly Drupal, is that?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic, thank you. You, sir, at the back?
Yes, I'm a student.
Here?
In Mechelen.
Oh, Mechelen, okay.
I study graphic multimedia design. So I'm learning
Okay.
very interested in Drupal.
Okay. Have you done anything with it so far, or?
I've built a couple of sites in it, mostly Drupal and workshops. Just interesting.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. You want to say who you are? Yeah?
I'm Sven, I'm a student at this school.
Oh, okay.
And I've just recently started exploring Drupal, so I'm here to learn more about it. Hopefully start building some websites in the future.
Okay, great, fantastic. Have we had everybody? Yeah, do you want to say who you are?
I am Claudine Plaas.
Sorry?
Claudine Plaas.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
my name. And I work for the Ministry of Finance. And I have done 2 websites with Drupal. But I have to learn.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. I'm really pleased. Thank you, everybody. Yes, Drupal and the Internet of Things. Oh, I'm still a speaker. Yes, Drupal and the Internet of Things. I mean, the Internet, like you said, the Internet of Things is, well, big and it's it's here already and it's growing. It will be, it will grow over the years to come, and has many opportunities and possibilities, applications, and everything. And that's, I mean, I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I'm a Drupal. I see myself as a site builder. Last night in the pub, somebody said to me, asked me what I do, and I said, I build Drupal websites using the Drupal modules and themes and things like that, and I have other people helping with theming. And they said, you're a clicker. So what do you mean? No, you just click things together. Wasn't it, Paul? Paul? No, Hank, sorry.
I did.
No. Sorry?
I haven't said that.
No, I'm not saying you did. You were there. Yeah. So I think that's a new term, a clicker, a Drupal clicker. That's not all what I do. I also do consultancy and helping businesses improve their workflows and things. Mostly in the southwest of the UK, sometimes somewhere else. But the Internet of Things. If I just go back quickly, this presentation is, may sound strange, but not finished. And that's because the Internet of Things is not finished either. There's a lot of discussion, research going on at the moment, and people are trying to find their feet of where it's going to go and what the applications. I don't know if you, sir, can want to start. The people, I mean, there's lots of changes at the moment. I mean, a lot of people understand that it has a massive potential, but where does it fit in? And where I'm coming from at this is that, I mean, I'm a Drupal, some people say evangelist maybe, but I love Drupal, I love the community, and I'm really interested in the Internet of Things. And the, research I've done over the last, I don't know, however many months, made me realise that there may be an interconnection somewhere with Drupal and the Internet of Things. And hopefully, today, I'll be able to show you a few things, and we can go through things or suggestions that you have as well, to see if we can make this work. Because I know Drupal is extremely flexible as a content management system and a web application framework, but will it be able to do something with the Internet of Things? Okay, is that okay? If anybody wants to say anything, please do, because I don't like to hear myself talk all the time. So what's happened in the last 10 years? I don't know, however, has anybody been in the IT sector for the last 10 years? Yeah? Great. this is just quickly a quick summary of things that have happened. But as you can see at the bottom, basically the list is endless because the IT is changing all the time. We have seen though a rise in mobile phones, smartphone adoption. I don't know how many people nowadays have a smartphone, but I care to guess that pretty much everybody has one. We have tablets and phablets. Increased network speeds, wireless and wired. The cloud came along and is still with us. And other things. Okay, if we just look at this graph a little bit, this is from the International Telecoms Union. You can see the relation between the network speed, the wireless mobile broadband speeds, and the number of active connections, and that is in millions. And to me, I don't know about you, but that's quite staggering. And if you walk around in cities or stations, a lot of people are nowadays on their phones doing all sorts of things. But this is incredible, I think. So many connected devices. And this is this is mobile devices. I'm not sure if this is coming through okay. It might be when I take my glasses off. Sorry? You've been drinking. I don't know, this is the Gartner Hype cycle for 2013. And I don't know if it's visible, but the Internet of Things is right nearly at the top there. And that means that they expect for that to be here for at least more than 10 years. You can also see, and this is something I'm really interested in, and it kind of links in kind of in the middle where it says through, it says mesh networks sensor. Okay, and that's something that is, cloud computing, NFC, mobile health monitoring, and they all link in, especially machine-to-machine communication services. That's a big growth market as well at the moment. Okay. I hope, sorry that's not super clear. Okay, so coming to an appliance near you. But how? How does it all work? I'm really glad, I don't know if everybody has read the description I put on, but I'm really glad nobody's actually brought a fridge in. We actually bought one the other day and it's absolutely this big, and it comes with a display and it beeps and it shows you all sorts of things. I was quite impressed with it because our fridge was 9 years old and it had to go. And now we have this modern massive fridge and freezer. And I think it's about 10 years ago I saw something on an event where you had an internet connected fridge. So people, like the big companies, are already working on it. I don't know if anybody already has an internet connected fridge. If you do, please let me know and share. Okay, so coming to an appliance near you, but how? This is a link of an image I found on the Postscape's website, and the Postscape's website is very useful, a very useful resource. I could put hundreds of slides on here from Postscape's, but that is a really good resource to find out things about the Internet of Things. This is one example. It shows you the communication methods, GPRS. How is it in Belgium anyway? GPRS, is it phased out, or is mostly everything on 3G, 4G? 4G? 3G? Well, throughout the country?
We're starting with some local points aggressively 4G, but still isn't very big.
Okay. Okay. Great. How's it in Holland, by the way? 4G?
4G is now kind of rolling out, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. There are some other terms in the light blue circle: NFC, RFID, ANT or ANT, Bluetooth, Zigbee, Z-Wave. I'm not going to say the other one. Oh, Wi-Fi. I don't know if does that mean everything to everybody? Has anybody heard of the ANT protocol? No. I don't know if any of you are doing sports, cycling, running, or something that have a heart rate monitor. Most of them they use ANT technology, which means that it has a short range, but that's how they communicate with, say, a heart rate wristwatch and things like that. Okay, we have on the other side the transfer methods is weightless, WiMAX, /7, license free, Ocean PLC, QR codes, Ethernet as well. All right. Is this okay for everybody? Is this helpful? Okay. License free is something I would like to talk about as well. I'll do that now, actually. And this is something I came across a while ago. The license free, there's something called white space spectrum. Has anybody heard of that? You have? Yeah.
It was on Radio 4 yesterday.
Sorry?
It was on Radio 4 yesterday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there's actually a UK company called Neul, well, I call it Neul, Neul, Neul.com, and they are really pushing their products, obviously, because they want to sell them. But I think their technology is really cool because they use white space technology. And what that is... Morning.
Morning.
You're late.
The cab driver dropped us off.
Yeah.
Dog ate my homework.
Why are you climbing all the way to the top, guys?
Because there are people there.
All right. You want to introduce yourself, guys?
Sure. Hi, I'm Aaron Porter from Aberdeen Cloud, based in Finland.
Hi, I'm Kivesh Razi from London, and I'm late because of Aaron.
It's a blame game. Well, thanks for coming anyway, guys. Much appreciated.
Sorry, Stefan.
That's all right. I was just talking about license-free spectrum and the white space spectrum and what it is. Like I said, the company in the UK called Neul, and I believe other people are working on it as well. They provide products, machine to machine use mostly, but you can do all sorts of other things with it. And the white space spectrum allows you to create products and use the unused TV signals, basically. And that allows you to create connectivity between nodes or devices that span any wireless network, really. And that's something to keep in mind, because it's a license-free setup. So basically all you need is one of those devices, well, a device on one end, and you can set up a link. And you can even use it with your computers. Okay, just a little bit of a graphical representation of the devices we're talking about. NFC. If people have Android phones, the recent ones I believe have NFC built in, which is quite useful. I was told this morning that Apple isn't going to adopt NFC. I don't know why. Any idea? Sorry?
They don't like it as a technology.
You think they'd come out with something else, their own thing?
And they have some iBeacon stuff, I don't know exactly what it is, but they won't ever use NFC.
No. Funny people.
Which means that NFC will die probably sometime.
Okay. Does anybody have any experience with, say, RFID or weightless? No?
Yeah.
You have? NFC or?
NFC,
Yeah.
subset of RFID.
Sorry?
NFC is a subset of RFID.
But how do you use it?
We built an app to gamify travel for a bus company.
Travel?
Travel,
okay, yeah.
Passengers get on, they tap their phone, they get badges, they get discounts. The travel company, Drupal, collects the data, pushes out surveys. Pretty cool stuff. But adoption is difficult because not every phone's NFC ready yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the challenge. Okay. I mean, this is only one slide. I don't know if anybody of you recognises any of these. I mean, again, this slide can be filled with hundreds of different pieces of hardware. But I think what I wanted to point out with this is that there is in terms of commercial products, the third one from the left is a product from a company called Libellium, and that is a Spanish company, and they make products and they do all sorts of cool stuff, sensors, or basically anything. There is an image coming up in a minute. What I just said about this this white space, the Flutter Wireless is a project that is going to be funded, I believe, yeah. And that's something built by a very clever chap or team, and they say that they have a wireless Arduino board with a very, very long range, and it's I think it's going to be $20, which is very exciting, and it can open lots and lots of possibilities for the maker community or all of us here. Okay, we also have the second one. Has anybody ever done anything with Arduinos? Yeah? Great. Fantastic. What's your experience? Any cool projects?
Not yet. I want to build some sort of a helicopter or something for my son.
A helicopter?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
For propellers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then only the light switches and everything as far as that's as far as I went. When sometime when there's something really cool.
Yeah, go for it. Any other experience with Arduinos? Project?
I work with a student and he get the metrics of the visitors of the exhibition and then translate it into images. So he was showing images of how the visitors felt at the moment.
So how do you record it? I mean, what do you say, metrics?
Like
or biometrics?
Heart rate, sweat, like those things.
Okay. What kind of images is that? Is that a visualization of the data, or?
Yeah, it was an artwork, so
yeah.
it was like more the mood of the person, very easy or fucked up.
Was it successful, the project? Was it?
We showed it at that event.
Mm-hmm. Great, fantastic. That's really good. Anybody else wants to share anything, Arduino-wise, or any maker things? Yeah, the reason why I put the second one up, by the way, is from Borderless Electronics. I don't know if anybody has seen or come across that, but an Arduino, I believe, is about 20, 25, I don't know how it's in euros, but is it 25 euros, roughly, basic board, and then you can build all sorts of things, all shields on top of it. And this guy, Harold his name is, he thought that even that, for some people or for schools, may still be too expensive. So he set out to find a way to produce an Arduino, 100% Arduino compatible board for $9, which is quite staggering. And he was hoping to get 1,000 backers. This was an Indiegogo. And he basically ended up, to cut a long story short, he's ended up with 15,000 boards, and because of that, he's managed to add all sorts of things. So basically, I've ordered 3, and they're due to arrive. I wish I had them here, but they're not in yet. But basically what that package entails, so for $9 or $10 you get one of those, and then basically a whole kit to get you started. That's great, because that will get people into electronics. And yeah, again, the third one, that's the Wasp Mote from Libellium. They have all sorts of different products, and of course can't miss the Raspberry Pi from the UK. And people do all sorts of interesting things like that. Does anybody have a Raspberry Pi? No? So?
I ordered one.
You've ordered one?
Still on its way.
Great, okay. Right, I hope this comes through okay. How are we doing? Yes. I mean, just to make it clear, I'm not affiliated with Libellium or anything, but I like this graph, this infographic. And I think if we look at this for a minute, Libellium, what they try to do, they have a list on their website with 50 or 60 different applications for industries and things like that. And as you can see, they try to get into everywhere, which is good. I mean, the Internet of Things allows you, and these sensors allow you to put them basically anywhere. I've read about water management systems, I think it's all, water leakages they've got there, item locations, all sorts of things. And this is very interesting because this will hopefully help the way we go about things and the way we live. Is there anything in there that interests you in particular? Forest fires, I don't know if that's a problem in Delaware, but plenty of forest, really. Whole thing.
What's here? Traffic jams?
Traffic jam, yeah. Oh yeah, we talked. Seems to be a bit of a problem over here. Yeah, it's kind of everywhere, really. Too many cars. And this, I mean, just sticking with the car transport sector, I believe, well, not just BMW, but they are working towards all these smart cars, and they already can phone into the car to do diagnostics and all sorts. And that's a kind of a way of Internet of Things. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. Yes, there are some really exciting things happening not too far from here. Has anybody heard of Fluxo? No? All gone quiet? Don't worry if you haven't. But Fluxo is a community metering system. And I asked the guy who runs Fluxo, but if he could make it today. He said he would try, and he couldn't, otherwise he could explain a bit about it. But I mean, the Fluxo headquarters are now in Leuven. But that's why I thought, well, it would be nice to have him here. But he's from Leuven. What he set up, and he set this up years ago, I met him years ago in the Drupal, was it? Can't remember. The Dev Days. Yes. Anyway, he set it up, and what it is, I mean, it says what it is. It's a web-based community metering application. You can install a Fluxo meter near your fuse box, and then you'll monitor, share, and reduce your electricity consumption. And this is what it looks like. I mean, I'm sure there is a case around it, because that's the blue bin. The blue one is the Fluxo meter without the case or the top on it. And those are the current clamps. So you connect the clamps to your electricity cables, and it measures it. And the model there, I've been told, can operate on a battery and they send the data wirelessly to the Fluxo platform. It's not the Fluxo platform. And this is just an example of what you can see. So you've got electricity, gas, and water. The reason I'm really interested in this is because it's an Internet of Things solution, but it's a community-based one. I'll get to that. I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. And there's one more slide. Yes. This may be a little bit too technical, but this is a slide that he sent me just to explain how Fluxo works. So you have the sensor or sensors, or you can get a console connection, and then you've got the board. It's based on OpenWRT, the Fluxo daemon, and that sends it to the Fluxo web platform. There's two reasons I'm mentioning Fluxo. One is because it's from Logan, it's a Belgian thing. And he used to use Drupal. He started off using Drupal as his platform to handle all the data. Okay. If anybody in the room wants to elaborate on this this bit, has anybody done anything with Nginx as a platform? You have, Kabir? Yeah?
We've used it for a couple of second screen applications for clients. So high transaction backend engine. Yeah, it works pretty well. Also runs most porn sites on the internet.
Yes. Yeah. Is there a reason why you chose Nginx over Apache or?
I'm probably not the best person to answer that question. But yeah, there's probably a very good reason why the developers chose Nginx over everything else out there.
Yeah, I believe Bart changed from using Drupal to Nginx because of the from Apache to Nginx, because Nginx allows you to process more requests. It's capable of doing that. Okay, is this okay to everybody, by the way? Yeah?
What's the business model behind Fluxo?
Well, I wish Bart was here. But the idea is that you can, I don't know if that became clear actually. Well, he's called it community metering, and the idea is that you can have, well, anybody can buy these clamps, and then they share their metering statistics with the central web platform, so other people can see it and they can share. And the idea is, from what I was told a while ago, is that will generate discussion, and hopefully people will then use that data, compare it and share it and talk about it, to reduce their energy consumption, to get a view of what other people use and how to use it. I'm sure there's more to it in terms of business model. But I think for the moment, look, he's selling these meters. So that's a bit of an income stream, and that will hopefully fund his development of these Fluxo meters.
You know he's talking to any of the utilities companies?
Sorry?
You know he's talking to the utilities companies?
Well, I'm not sure, but that's a really good point, because, and again, this is why I really like it. He approaches it from a community point of view, and in the UK, I think it's British Gas, they are now going to trial, I don't know if you can look into that, have you heard anything about this? Is it British Gas, where they have their smart home meters.
You get a smart home meter that tells you how much.
Yes.
So it doesn't send it anywhere. So
No.
at the moment,
That's the thing. I believe they're even doing a trial where if you have such a smart meter, then you can get free electricity on a Saturday. That's what they're doing. But yes, what I like about the community aspect of it, a lot of say, business models or companies, they have, what shall we say, a walled garden approach. So you have, like the British Gas one, you get this meter installed in your home, and it monitors lots and lots of data, and it sends it to their system. And then what? You may get a little report that says, okay, this is what you've used, but there's, a lot more information that they gain from having that in your home. That's why I like this, is because it's reasonably open and you can share it with others.
The reason I bring it up is because the electric company I was with when I was in DC, they had something like this. I never signed up for it, but what they would do is they would try to control your AC, for example, like in the summer, and you would say when it could be turned on and turned off.
Yes.
And the device would do it itself. It would show your consumption and show you your neighbors' consumptions, because apparently people use less electricity when they see that their neighbors are using less than them, or they're using more than neighbors and stuff. So people kind of get guilted into using less electricity and whatever because of their neighbors' consumption.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty big. I don't want my electric company knowing what I do, or at least having them like turn on and off my AC and stuff. I thought that was a little bit weird.
Well, that's a really good point. I read a book the other day, and it was exactly about that. It wasn't a technical book or anything, but it was something else. But that's not relevant. But what they did is they had a similar setup where they would ask people to reduce electricity, and they didn't really comply with it. And then they said, okay, we're going to publish it in the newspaper. And then all of a sudden people started there was an incentive, so people started to reduce electricity like mad. And then before the publication deadline, they said, oh, we're not going to publish it now. And they wanted to know what happened to these people. And they increased they reduced their energy even more, even after that, which was quite interesting. But that's a good point, because with that electricity company, they hold a lot of data, and if it goes so far that you have one of those devices installed, which is linked to your electric network within your home, they can start turning off devices. It's good from an energy saving point of view. But yeah, would you want that control?
What's the incentive for the electricity company? Will they make less money?
Sorry?
What's the incentive for the electricity company, or for the gas company, for the water company?
Well, that's a good point. I don't know.
They can sell you more products.
Probably.
They know what you do, when you use it, how you're using it. They even, if you add this on to the other Internet of Things devices, they know when your fridge is on, they know when your toaster is running. I don't know, this thing's not stupid now. But I think it's way better packages.
I think it's they know when to have the power stations ready. There's a lot of wasted power when the power station's running and no one's using it. So they know much better when it's going to be used.
Well, that to me would be a good use of it, but I'm sure there will be all sorts of marketing plans and sell the information and everything. Okay. Okay, well, this is another project. Has anybody heard of the Smart Citizen project? This is a project in Barcelona. This is kind of similar. But this is an open source environmental monitoring platform consisting of Arduino compatible hardware, data visualization, web API and mobile app. They were funded on Kickstarter. And you have the Arduino board. It's a custom board. It has an enclosure around it nowadays, and they have an app and they have a website. And this is again similar to the Flixo setup. But what they wanted to achieve is initially for about 150 test users within Barcelona, they wanted to find out or have people install these devices in or outside their homes. They monitor all sorts of things, temperature, humidity, noise levels, and they report back to the central platform. I personally am quite interested in all of this because it's open. They also provide an API so you can program all sorts of things to it. And basically, and this is the difference between the electricity company, from what I understand, is with their system or their setup, if you have one of those Smart Citizen kits, as they call it, you can have your own API, so you can tell it to send the data to your system, which I think is great. And you can build your own platforms or link in other things. Okay, the National Trust are they into IoT, the Internet of Things? This is a photo I took recently when I was visiting Stonehenge and on the way to Woodhenge. That's not really relevant, but what I came across was this. Can you see it all? It's a gate. But it's not just a gate. There's something attached to it. I mean, I was keen to get the screwdriver out and open it up, but I didn't. But to me, although it didn't say what it was, to me this is a, I don't know, detection system or counting system or whatever. Is it a smart gate? I don't know. I don't think it is. But, I mean, this could be a really nice application for the Internet of Things if this has a wireless setting built in that you can communicate back to the base. Morning. So yeah, I think what I'm trying to say or show with this is that it can be anywhere. So if you have an interest in environmental issues, this might be something. Okay. The problem or challenge. So where do we start? All right, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, we talked about the electricity companies, walled gardens, Google. I just want to mention Google and Apple. I mean, they hold a lot of information about your, for example, Google, about your browsing history and all sorts. Apple, they hold a lot of things, information about your device. I don't know if anybody has ever signed up to send diagnostic information back to their systems, or has ever looked into it. But the information they gather is probably more than you get out. I don't know if, is anybody using an iPhone in the room? Okay. The way I see it, you send a lot of information to them, and one of the services you get back is Find My iPhone. Yeah, I'm sure there's more. But I mean, there's so much more data available, and they only give you a snippet of it. So I guess what I'm trying to say with this is, yeah, where do we start? There's a lot of information out there, but wouldn't it be nice if we can come up with a solution, ideally Drupal-based, that can accommodate Internet of Things connected devices? Any thoughts on this? No? Okay. An example, and this is something I dreamt up a little while ago, called Project C. Well, it's not really called Project C, but it's a smart cat flap concept. I don't know if anybody has pets in their home. I do, a dog and a cat, and they come in and out when they choose. And I thought, hang on a minute, surely there should be an integration possible with the Internet of Things. So if we have a smart cat flap installed that can measure or can timestamp a pet coming in and out, register temperature, humidity, the speed of where the animal comes in and out, take a photo, and do the same on the inside, I mean the temperature, humidity. It logs to a web platform, it can even tweet. But this is an example of what it could be used for, and if this is done in the community on a community level, then we could do nice things with it. So from the smart cat flap concept, you can start thinking about a crowd pet movement system, and this might be interesting for people who keep pets or looking for pets. So if you have a collar, I don't know where my mouse has gone, but a collar with GPS tag and things like that, you can do all sorts of things. You can track locations, similar to your phone, but then you do it with pets. And this is just a crazy idea of what an application could look like. And you can, I mean, if this was to exist, you can do all sorts of interesting things with it. I mean, with the data, you can get a lot of, I mean, if you do this worldwide, I'm sure lots of interesting people would be interested in that. But again, this may be crazy. But I think what this is trying to show, hopefully, is that the technology is advancing and advancing, and devices are getting smaller and smaller. So you could put something around the collar of a cat or a dog, and build some kind of a system like this. I mean, a lot of people have pets nowadays. So that's a thought. Any reactions on this? Completely bonkers?
I think I saw at the Scotland somebody did it actually.
Really?
Yeah. So
excellent.
Completely stupid.
I'm completely lost my mind. Well, that's great.
That was funny. Yeah.
That's really good. I like that. Morning.
So there's the RFID cat flap that only lets animals really have the right collar on.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's linked to that.
So
And sorry?
you just extend it to
Yes.
your idea.
Yeah. And I think one of the reasons why I came up with this idea is obviously because I have pets. But another aspect of the Internet of Things is people are working on smart clothing. So you can have special fabric that measures all sorts of things in your body and reports back to it or on it. So yeah, for you who just joined, I was just explaining about my crazy smart cat flap concept, and apparently somebody's done it, or a similar thing. And this is just to show, I mean, an idea of how it could work, how the Internet of Things could integrate with daily things or animals. Okay? Is that okay with everybody? If anybody wants to chip in, feel free. Okay, so where does Drupal fit into all of this? Because I haven't mentioned Drupal for a while now. Okay. Drupal with the Internet of Things. We have sensors, this can be anything. And this is how it works mostly at the moment. Then you have a middleware layer with an API. And on top of that could be Drupal. And the example with Fluxo is that they used to use Drupal, I mean, they still use Drupal, but they use Apache and now they move to Nginx. But there can be all sorts of things in between. But this is how it could work. I mean, this is how it works now. But how about, I mean, does this make sense to anybody? To do it this way? I mean, this is an example of the Fluxo system. I'm not sure what software the smart citizen people use, but this is a fairly straightforward setup. I mean, you have to get the APIs in. So yeah, there's several people or several companies investing heavily in providing services in the middleware layer. One of them is Carriots, and another one is Sively, and they're quite big. But how about Drupal for the Internet of Things? So we have the same setup again. We have sensors, we have users. Oops, that was a bit too fast, too exciting. Yes, so there it is. It's hiding. So, would this be possible? Or is this another crazy idea? So would Drupal be able to handle, take care of the middleware layer and accept the data from the sensors directly?
I think only on a small scale. As
Yeah.
if you've got sensors, even just a few,
Yeah.
collecting data continuously, that's a lot of data.
Yeah.
And imagine creating entities or rules for each of the elements, that's crazy. So writing directly to the database without using Drupal's abstractions, maybe it's still it's a lot of data. Drupal isn't designed for that.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. Do you want to just quickly say who you are?
I'm Wim Lucas.
Wim is, yeah. Great to have you here. Okay, so this may be a crazy idea. Yeah, I don't know, you've just joined Wim, haven't you?
Yeah, just 15 minutes ago.
Okay, that's fine. Did you see my crazy idea about the smart cat flap?
Yeah.
And you're still here?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Right, so if this, so is it worth, can we say that it's probably a good idea to think about Drupal with the Internet of Things and use existing or upcoming middleware providers or services to make the connection? And yeah, okay, that's great. Any comments on that? Please feel free to share or shout.
I just thought maybe if you use it like this, it's
Yeah.
easier to add another sensor with some other middleware.
Mm-hmm.
If you use it only in Drupal, you have to put that in Drupal as well.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. And I think when what you're saying obviously makes sense. If you have a lot of sensors, you have a lot of data, and Drupal might kind of fall over. But how can we do this the open source way? I mean, there are certain middleware kind of providers, but you can see that more and more is moving towards paid services. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Would you pay for a middleware layer to provide or to handle all the sensor data?
It depends on your expertise.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, then yeah, write your own server or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been working on an app where it's not the sensor, it's the user interacts with the cloud database. And
Okay.
in that case, it's just easier for me to just buy up the service or pay for somebody else to deal with the security, deal with how the information is held there, and deal with all that stuff, and not just deal with the front end aspects of it. So in that sense, I'd say go, because it's not my expertise. I don't want to spend time doing it. Let somebody else do it, basically. Who's better at it than I am.
Yeah. So if you want to build something, you look for a platform that's already there, don't mind paying for it.
Well, I broke it down, of course. The iOS stuff I did myself.
Okay,
the,
yeah.
The marketing stuff we're doing ourselves. But as far as the cloud database, I don't want to have to deal with that. And I want to use a cloud database, and I want it to be secure, and I want it to be reliable, and all that stuff. So I just go to somebody else to be able to do that aspect. And then use that libraries and all that, and make sure I can change them all with other companies if I need to.
Okay, great.
I think this makes sense from an enterprise architecture point of view. Probably all the sensors are totally different sensors that give you data in all kinds of formats. So you would need more than only a middleware, but some kind of intelligence that aggregates it and transforms it to usable formats.
Yeah.
And if you deliver this in a pay-as-you-use mode, then people are willing to pay a lot of money, because then it becomes usable. And probably it's not only the Drupal interface that it's connected to, but other hubs, other services. So this is definitely another one.
Okay. All right. Great. Yeah, another thing that kind of links into this is obviously we've been talking about different things on the Internet of Things, like the products and the growth of it all, and the applications are kind of unthinkable. But if you think about it, I mean, this is just a thought. All these things, like the crazy cat flap thing, the smart citizen, they all gather data about usually your environment. And would would Drupal accommodate for a system that can integrate, show all of that data? So that you have your, say, dashboard of all of your Internet of Things connected devices. Does that make sense? Okay. Any more thoughts on this? Feel free to shout. No? Okay. Okay, so we're going to skip this one. That should fall down now. Okay, this may be something else I would like to talk to you about, just to see what you feel. I've called it, it's cool to be idle. Again, just repeating the slide. Was at the beginning, the amount of mobile or active connections and devices, still growing. Okay, well this is a screenshot of an iPad, and it's on, not doing anything. So it has it has a lot of redundant resources: CPU, RAM, storage, Wi-Fi, 3G connections if you have a 3G iPad, and it's unused. If you put it on charge, it still works. It's not doing anything. So what can you do with that? I'm sure it's the same with the iPhone. Yeah, same idea. Works for Android as well, of course. Doesn't matter which platform. There is the SETI at Home project and some other projects as well. Aaron, you might be able to chip in on that one, on the SETI one.
You mean the alien one?
Sorry?
The alien one, right?
Second process. And then
for extraterrestrial.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the cool one. Stefan was pointing out, we had a conversation about it, and I sent him a photo that I was at one of the SETI arrays in Northern California about a year ago. So just a bunch of satellite arrays and
pretty impressive.
Me standing at the base.
With this software, the SETI software has been around for ages really. And has anybody ever used it or heard about it? Yeah?
Back in 97, I downloaded Screensaver.
Yeah. Okay, great. But basically, you have the software, you get these packets, it computes it and sends it back. That's the idea. That's great. It's not just SETI, there are many other distributed computing platforms out there. What I have here is something to think differently about. I don't know if you've got 3 minutes. I'd like to play this to you. You may already have seen it. I don't know if the sound works actually. Let's see.
Devices, because they get old and become worn out. But usually it's only one of the components that causes the problem. The rest of the device works fine, but is needlessly thrown away. Simply because electronic devices are not designed to last. This makes electronic waste one of the fastest growing waste streams in the world, and our phone is one of the biggest causes. So this is a new kind of phone. It's made of blocks. Detachable blocks. They are all connected to the base, and the base connects everything together. Electrical signals are transferred through the pins, and 2 small screws lock everything in place. So if, for instance, your phone is getting a little slow, you could just upgrade the block that affects the speed. Or if something breaks, you can easily replace it with a new one, or update it with the latest version. Another great thing about this is, you can customize your phone. So let's say this is your phone, and you do everything in the cloud. Why not replace your storage block for a bigger battery block? If you're like this guy and love to take pictures, why not upgrade your camera? Or if you don't care about any of this stuff, you can keep it simple and get a bigger speaker. You can choose the blocks you want, support the brands you like, or even develop your own blogs. Phonebox is built on an open platform where companies work together to create the best phone in the world. To set up this platform, we need to get the right companies and the right people involved. They will only get started if there is a lot of interest in a phone worth keeping. So this is the plan. To show them there is an interest in this phone, we need your voice. You can donate your social reach on the website. We gather as much people as possible. On the 29th of October, we send out the blast, all at the same time. Spread all your voices to show the world there is a need for a phone worth keeping. The more people involved, the bigger the impact. Please visit phonebox.com to raise your voice and spread the word. Phonebox, a phone worth keeping.
Okay, this is an idea worked out by Dave. He's a Dutch guy. He lives in Helmond, the city I used to live. That's not important. What is important is that, I mean, his idea, his concept is radically different to what we know at the moment. I don't know, has anybody seen this, by the way? Yeah? Okay, when I first saw this on Tuesday evening, I was absolutely blown away by it because I thought, well, this is amazing. But how can you get it to work? Since then, it's taken the world by storm. His website crashed within minutes, and I don't think it's up yet. Even the Thunderclap website crashed as well because of the millions of people accessing it. So there must be there's something in it. I think it's amazing, but I don't know what you feel. Is it feasible? Brilliant, yeah, that's what I thought as well. Yeah, I can't remember who said it earlier about working, was it you? These companies working together? I can't remember who said it. But this would be a good example of all the phone companies working together.
I don't really see it happening.
A lot of people say that, yeah.
The margins and the profits for the companies are going to help the compatibility of the camera sensor and the socket and the CPU. It seems impossible. The idea is that.
Yeah, it seems impossible. But if you kind of transpose it to Drupal, I mean, we have tens of thousands of modules, and they all talk to the core. It's kind of the same. Well, it's not the same, but it's kind of the same concept. So, can it be done?
I think it's too ridiculous. If you think about how I used to build my own PCs. Now I just buy laptops. But I used to build them, and then you put in your own components based on what you want it to be. You've got light operating systems. It's got a sort of USB-like interface anyway, so each of these modules has that sort of like interface. It should work. And you've got a Raspberry Pi, which is tiny, but even smaller ones. I think it could happen. It's not going to be as nice looking as that, but it's sort of probably better.
I mean, this is a laser cut prototype. It doesn't work or anything.
You might have to have a phone like in the 80s again.
With a big battery.
But it'll be open source, so, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Now the reasons I wanted to show you this is because I think it's amazing, and who knows, it might work, it might not. The other reason is well, strung together in the grid. I may not link in together with this, but I just mentioned about the SETI project, distributed computing, and obviously it showed you the film of the phone blocks. I found out that there is I believe a beta version for SETI for Android. So that means that you can run SETI on a mobile device. So basically what that means is that your mobile device will start processing data probably when it's not in use. So what does that mean? So
you train your battery.
yeah, possibly, but if you, yeah, I agree, of course. But what if you could tweak that to say, okay, only do the computations when you're in charge, or on Wi-Fi. I believe Apple has it already in the phones for Wi-Fi sync or something, I can't remember what it is, or backup to the cloud. Feel free to chip in if you know how that works. So yeah, this is interesting stuff, I think. There's also Hadoop. Does anybody have an experience with Hadoop? Wim, you? Yeah, thought so. Do you want to share anything about it, how you've used it, how you work with it?
I've only used it for a data mining class, and while I was at Facebook, I also interacted with Hadoop and HDFS and all that stuff. I think the consensus is by those who are using it, or are starting to use it, is that it's a very big pain in the ass to set up.
Big pain, yeah?
Yes,
Is it?
it's very, very painful. It works fine for big companies like Google and Facebook because they have the experience building it. It takes a lot of expertise in tuning the memories to get it up and running. So there are alternatives to Hadoop now. I don't remember the names by heart, but something like, for example, Storm by Twitter was released, I think, 1 or 2 years ago.
Okay.
It's for real time, and Hadoop is not for real time. So Hadoop is useful for crunching a lot of data.
Yeah.
But it's slow as well because there's a lot of chatter between the distributed machine and so on. So it's useful for very big data, and if you don't mind the overhead of setting it up, the overhead of running it, and so on. So I think in the context of distributed computing from a Drupal point of view, where it's probably more about dealing with sensors and so on, Hadoop is not the useful thing to use, but it's a good starting point to look at, I guess, to learn from.
Yeah. The reason I'm asking is I'm not an expert in Hadoop, but I'm trying to put these pieces of the puzzle together. And with the distributed computing in mind, and Internet of Things, but definitely Drupal, would it be possible, theoretically, you'd said about, is it Storm? The platform, the real-time platform?
Yes.
So could you have a Drupal layer, or a Drupal system, and then the Storm processing layer? I'll get to that in a minute actually. Here we go. I mean, this is very flat, but I'd like to get your ideas of this. If your processing platform, say, is based on Storm or Hadoop or something similar, and you have your devices, these can be mobile devices, these can be sensors, anything with, say, redundant computing power that reports or makes processing power available to this processing platform. What you can do then is have the green blocks. You can build services. And just to link into what Aaron is doing with his company, Aberdeen Cloud, they offer a cloud-based hosting solution. So, with that in mind, is it feasible if you have a processing platform where the processing power is distributed over mobile devices or sensors, or both? Does that make sense? I mean, I don't think it's here yet, but could it be possible? And could Drupal fit into that? Could one of these green dots be Drupal, your Drupal setup? Not a crazy idea? Any thoughts? No?
What kind of benefits would you see to setting something up like that?
Well, the reason I thought of this is based on the amount of mobile devices and the incredible, well, if you think about it, the incredible computing power of one of these. I mean, this is an iPhone 4, and I believe this has the same amount of computing power than an Apple eMac from, was it 6 years ago or so? Which is crazy. And I mean, the speed of these devices will increase over time, but I mean, I've just been blabbering away here for about an hour and a half, and I haven't really used my phone, so it's just idling. Can we do something with that? Just putting it out there. Crazy? Wim?
You're also saying the amount of energy our smartphones are already using now is crazy. So on top of that, you would add more energy consumption. So ecologically, it would be a very bad idea.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I think where I'm coming from at this is and this is a while ago now, but I used to manage large computer infrastructures, so massive computer rooms and all sorts. And then you have all your heating, your heat that you need to disperse of, your cooling, and all sorts of things. And even there, with those massive servers, because for projects, they used to spec out or over-spec the systems. And we were doing monitoring on them, with graphs and all sorts, and they were hardly being used. You could say, well, it's just stupid to over-spec it that much, but I mean, it's the same with these. I mean, to me, it applies to mobile devices as well. So could you do something with that? And I mean, you've got a point with your energy consumption. But if you can set your mobile device to only provide this redundant computing power at certain times or at certain levels, then I don't know. Eventually, it could become a whole new platform. But I may be completely crazy. Any thoughts on that, Aaron?
Well, I'm trying to, I'm still wrapping my head around the benefit. Like, how would you get people involved in that? I guess are you thinking just to draw the people in, like building a community, a community of users, and for example, running. Well, this would be way in the realm of hypothetical situations, but running D.O from Drupal communities, smartphones, something like that. Is that kind of where you would be going and trying to get the benefit? General idea?
Yeah, it can be anything web-based really. But that's it's a thought. Probably it's maybe crazier than the phone blocks one, but it's a thought. So yeah, is it go or no go? I didn't draw those on there, by the way. This photo was made by me near this. Oh, that's a school in the background my son goes to. But yeah, maybe this is a bit bonkers, maybe not.
Well, I think it could be a go. I think you just have to create the right project.
Yeah. Well, just to link into that and link back to the Hadoop. I know Wim, you said about it's a pain to set up, but I came across, this is only a couple of weeks ago, I think, a guy, I don't know where he is, I don't know if he's in the UK, it doesn't really matter, but he's managed to set up a Hadoop cluster with Raspberry Pis. I mean, it's not performing, but people are kind of working towards that. So who knows?
Actually, one example of your idea is to have mobile devices in particular, but really devices of people who like a certain project contribute to computing time, essentially, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that the jQuery project has done is for its unit testing needs. Obviously, JavaScript runtimes are different for each browser, so you essentially have to run the test suite on every browser. What jQuery has done is create a test run that anybody can go to, and then on that device it'll run the tests. So jQuery collects the results, the test results, and then it can conclude, okay, so 10 test runs on Safari 5.0.1 worked great, no problems. But apparently, 2 test runs on Safari 5.1.1, lots of problems. And so you can collect these numerous you can collect test results for numerous environments, which would otherwise be almost prohibitive to set up. So I think that's one angle where the Drupal project could be useful. If we have something similar and we finally get JavaScript testing coverage in Drupal core, then this general idea definitely applies there.
Okay, excellent. Any more thoughts? Feel free to chip in. So that's a really good idea, and I mean, next to that could be theoretically like a real-time processing with this mobile device. But this is not just. I mean, it probably won't work with I don't know, a handful of devices, but if you're thinking into the millions, or tens of thousands, then it may be possible. And that's what this guy was saying with the Raspberry Pi cluster. He said, it doesn't perform it doesn't perform, but it works. So, yeah.
One thing about the end user, like, why would I want to sign up to this network? And obviously, the benefit of it would be to have as many people as possible, even people who aren't involved with development or anything like that. So, what if, I'm just throwing something out there. So
Yeah, go for
I have
it.
a problem all the time, of course, with my battery dies. And if I'm at the airport, you have all these charge stations, but you gotta pay for them. So what if we said, you download our app, you let us run some stuff in the background while you're charging, and in return you get to use our charge station for free. And then
There needs to be some kind of incentive, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and you can get a huge network of people like that, and then you've got a cluster of a lot of cell phones essentially that that charge, once or twice a day. And if you do this with enough people, you could, I don't know, I'm just saying something, but maybe compete even with some of the...
Yeah, well, that's what this is for, just speak out, yeah. Why not? I believe, I'm not sure if, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Apple is working on graphene-based battery?
Yeah.
Which charges in, 5 seconds or something?
That's a capacitor.
I mean, the battery life of mobile devices is a problem. I mean, if I compare with my phone, I mean, it's an iPhone 4 and it doesn't last a day. It just runs out. So that is a problem to tackle, if this was ever to come off. So yeah, go, no go, who knows? Okay, the idea is, or was, to have a bit of a kind of workshop thing and get some feedback going. I'm not sure if this will work in this setup, in the room, but if you say, okay, I want to sit down with a couple of guys from, I don't know, the business side of things and talk, fine. Or just do an open discussion here. Any thoughts that you have would be great. Any preferences? No? Right, what are we going to do, guys? Okay. Well, this was the end of the workshop. No. That's really quick. I think, thanks for clarifying that. About the Drupal and the IoT, that, with the middleware, you probably need another layer, maybe 2 layers. But having a Drupal does-it-all solution is probably not a good idea, which is good to know. The community grid, it might work, it might not. You have to think about all sorts of different things. The business side, incentives, energy consumption. How are you going to do it? Are you going to build an app or apps, platform to use? So yeah, if anybody wants to chip in, feel free to do so. Yeah, go on.
If you reduce idle time on devices, I think we will increase complexity and problems we don't know about it. I'm just making something thing with humans. You cannot just increase idle time with humans without decrease idle time with humans without increasing the complexity and the problems they're encountering. Maybe it's the same thing with the machines and artifacts we're creating.
Yeah, could be, yeah.
There's a lot of things we're not aware of that will go wrong if we decrease the idle time with all kinds of devices. I think it's much more complex than finding the technology for a community grid. So, as you said, indeed, it's the energy problem. It's not only the energy problem, too.
So you mean like if something your phone gets hot and
for instance, some kind of complexities, problems we're completely not thinking of.
Oh yeah, that's
because we have idle time on our devices.
I think at the moment already it's doing things in the background, like backing up to the cloud or all sorts of other things, checking emails and all of that nonsense. Yeah, I mean that's the point. Oh, it's a good, well, it's a valid point to think about that, because it is important, because you don't want, I don't know, if it runs on a phone, for the battery to overheat and explode or something like that. So that's definitely something. Yeah, you don't want that to happen.
But if you can connect a lot of devices and you're using your own device, but you're also using the community devices at the same time, the processing power. So you have very fast responses on the device.
Yeah.
But if it's idling, you're supporting the community and they can use your processing.
Yeah, that's right. That's the idea. To share whatever it is that you don't use, but then again, yeah, you will have to think about challenging problems, technical things. Yeah.
It would be a reason to sign up for the
Sorry?
It would be a reason to sign up because they can use community power.
Yeah, community power, I like that. That's very good. Okay.
Maybe this is a strange remark, but don't you think that you're risking to make idle time a taboo? Even for devices?
Or for them to be always doing something.
He has to be so performing and constantly has to perform. Don't you think it's kind of a dangerous thing to do too? Even phones need a break. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Maybe not now, but in 20 years, 10 years.
Yeah, if we still have phones. You don't know. But yeah, there is a point.
I think it can be a very broad discussion.
Yeah.
Maybe idle time shouldn't be a bad thing.
That's a good point. Thanks for that. Okay. Any other thoughts from anybody? Please feel free.
Also, who gets all the data?
Sorry?
The phone's doing stuff, or whatever, doing stuff all the time. It's all coming out to some database somewhere. So who has access to that database? What information goes in there?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what if we're in some country the government isn't all too favorable and they have direct access to my phone now thanks to these networks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they don't tell us that, right? But the NSA, right?
Or maybe you can have a list of countries you don't want to use send resources to. Syria, no. Or maybe. Hey?
Keep my phone in Switzerland all the time.
Neutral ground, yes. Maybe we should target the Swiss people with this idea. Okay. Any questions, thoughts? No? Okay. Right, I think that's it. I mean, feel free to shout, talk. And that was it, that's me. If you want to get in touch, even if you want to say, Stefan, you're absolutely bonkers, go ahead. Yeah. I think we're a bit early. How are we doing for time? Yeah, we're a bit early. If anybody wants to share anything, go for it, yeah?
Regarding all these wireless technologies from the beginning of the presentation.
The wireless technologies, yes.
Have there already been any kind of testing of the health implications of being completely surrounded by waves on all kinds of frequencies all around?
Health implications?
Have an impact or not, health-wise?
Well, that's a good point. I saw an artist, or a couple of artists have done a similar thing, and they have visualized radio waves in urban areas, which I think is fascinating. I mean, they didn't link it to any health aspects of it all, but you have a really good point, because there are so many wireless technologies now, like Bluetooth, you've got Zigbee, Wi-Fi, all sorts of others. I don't have the answer to that. I don't know if anybody here from the health or has done some research on that. I haven't. But yeah, I can
I used to work on a research and development center
Yeah.
where we had it was not my project, so new people who were working on it, had a prototype of a domotic house.
Sorry?
It was a prototype of a domotic house with all kinds of internet connected devices for
Okay.
power electronics. Well, and they had stuff like a project for a supermarket with these little tags that the moment you stepped outside, it would charge you to your credit card account because it would recognize everything in your card, so having to take it out.
Okay.
And then you could put it on your fridge, and the fridge would know exactly what it had inside and what it needed for the next week, because it was all connected, so you could check your weight and it knew what you were allergic to, and if you had a high tension or not. So it would make you probably should eat this next week, and it could make automatically the order to the supermarket and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And when we asked the same question of is it actually healthy to have all of these wireless technologies around, the answer of the guy was, well, your choice, cable or cancer.
Cable or cancer.
That's why I was hoping for a better answer this time.
Yeah, I don't know the answer on it, but it's all, I mean, it all affects your bodies, surely.
Yeah.
I can give an example. I live in the southwest of the UK, and I live about 10 miles from a place called Glastonbury. Has anybody heard of Glastonbury? Glastonbury Festival is most well known for. And they've tried to set up a Glastonbury-wide Wi-Fi network. And yeah, people who live in Glastonbury seem to think that they are a bit different than everybody else in the world. No offence, but they were really against this notion of having one wireless network for the whole town. So they didn't go ahead. But the funny thing is, if you walk through Glastonbury, you have tens of wireless networks popping out all over the place. So I'm not sure what exactly the difference is.
People start pretending to get stupid sometimes. I have a friend who's completely scared of all these electronics, radiation or whatever. He's not. So yeah, people do seem to care about some things more than others. But when you see all these little emitters all around, everywhere, thousands of them, in this particular case I was thinking of, because every single thing you were buying in the supermarket had something. It does get a bit worrisome. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a good point. And I mean, whatever is developed, that needs to be taken into account, I think. So yeah. Something I'd like to share as well. If you think you have any after today, or if you're going to do some more research, if you want to get in touch with other people, I can't read that. But this is an interesting organisation to connect with. If Space Monkey Cloud Storage. That's quite an interesting project as well. I'm not. Yeah, if you want to read up on anything Internet of Things and community-based solutions or approaches or platforms, have a look at what Rob van Kalenberg is saying. I posted it on my site, but you can have a look at his recording as well. That's quite interesting. I think that's kind of what inspired me to set up this session. Yeah. And if you think you have any things to share in terms of skills or resources, have a look at the council website. They list people who are keen to give advice, help others. It's all voluntary. It's all about connecting people. And as I mentioned earlier, the Postscapes site is a very good. They tend to track the Internet of Things, as they say. What's out there, what's coming, hand hygiene, all sorts of things. Flutter is already mentioned on here. Excellent. And Libellium, if you want to learn more about, the infographic I showed earlier, if you have a look at what kind of solutions they provide, I'm not affiliated by any means, but this is, I think, a really good starting point of figuring out what you can do with it. Okay. Any more questions? Anybody? Suggestions? Okay.
I'll fire off one last one.
Yeah, go on then.
Bringing up your idea of this community grid.
Yes.
Is your purpose just to sort of brainstorm and gather ideas and trying to provoke thoughts from us, or do you actually have something working in the gears in your head there, that there's something that you're thinking of, you'd like to try to identify a project and build a community around?
Yeah, all of it. We spoke about this a while ago, didn't we? And it's an idea. It's not there yet, and I know it's out in the open. There's nothing there. I don't have a project in mind, but I think looking at all these other developments and the growth of the mobile devices and the use of them, idle time is, a challenge, and battery life. But yeah, if anybody's up for discussing it, I'm happy to get on board.
Do you have real projects with Drupal and other things that already done those?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know a successful project?
Well, the Fluxo one, that runs Drupal, which I think is reasonably successful. And that's an example, that's very local to here because it's in Leuven. There are, I'm pretty sure, other people that have a similar setup, but I know that's one of the, I know that one from years ago. And like I showed you with the Smart Citizen Kit, I don't know if that runs Drupal, I haven't checked it, but it could well do. But yeah, it's there. It's easy, I'm saying it's easy, but the Drupal and its flexibility can be, I think, easily used to create these presences. Yeah. That's what I was saying, with what I showed you about the Libellium list of things, and if you find this interesting, have a look. It's there, or the Postscapes website. Again, I'm not affiliated by any of them, I'm just saying, I'm sharing it, because you might find it useful. You may think, hang on a minute, we've got a project coming up, maybe we can use it this way. So yeah. Okay. I think that's it. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming, for sticking with it. If you have any feedback, please give me a shout or put it on the other pad. Maybe you've already done it. But yeah, thanks ever so much. Thank you.